Okay, getting the first big. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the.
Wait, kid, put it on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Good evening, Overwatch fans, and welcome to the final day of the Overwatch Tranquility Season 7 regular season. Today, we are here to bring you the final Discord tier match of the regular season between two high-profile teams that had really good Stage 1s, but are struggling to find their footing in Stage 2, Mark III and Lotus. My name is Bowsy, and I'll be your play-by-play caster today, and I'm joined here by Gizmo Charmander. And Gizmo, we got a very exciting match on our hands today.
Oh yes, I'm really looking forward to this. Mark III actually was my team in the off season between season 6 and season 7 of Tranquility. There's only one new player on their team that I didn't get to play with, which is Terracton, but I do remember them playing an amazing main tank in season 6. I can't remember what team off the top of my head, but I remember they were an awesome Reinhardt. Seeing Appa come over to Lotus now on support, that's going to be interesting because we're not going to see that Junkrat silly one trick that we were getting at the beginning on Squall. So it's gonna be a real fun time tonight. So both teams are trying to find that one win in stage 2, so that way they can't say they went 0-3. So it's all on the line for them right now.
Absolutely, both of these teams are fighting. One of them is going to be coming home with one win in stage number 2. Both of them had very rough schedules up against Reminiscence and SEAL Team Spuds. Both of them did at least take one map over SEAL Team Spuds in stage number 2, but regardless, they've had really rough stages considering their stage number 1 scores were 5-0 and 4-1 respectively. So there's a lot of pressure on both of these teams to try and succeed, and hopefully they're going to be able to do it here with the first map being Oasis. We'll see who gets the jump start in the series and see who will be on the path to victory.
Yeah. So, one thing I'm really looking forward to here is, now this was, back when UGC, when I was playing with Mark III, they did a lot of ball far comp, but now they have Rice instead of playing DPS is on this tank line. And it's kind of interesting. They picked up Terracton, so now Rice can go back to the DPS. And, they like messing with us because we see both teams pull out that fashion. But we know that's going to be it. Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. We're going to see probably, Winston, maybe the ball, and definitely going to see that Diva. But I'm kind of questioning if we're really going to get that Arista. But they're just waiting for, I guess, one person to load in before the match starts. So, I don't know. What do you expect to see here on the, is it not Gardens?
Oasis City Center.
City Center, yeah.
Well, City Center is a very interesting map. You can play any sort of composition. The main composition we've mainly been seeing throughout many teams is a sort of like Winston Diva dive composition, maybe with a Tracer Sombra. 6-man dive usually is what you see here. You could also see a brawl composition. Anything really could go here on Oasis City Center, but we're going to see what the teams are rolling out here in the second. And it looks like, so far, my prediction was right. We do see Shadow Dive, or 6-man dive, on the side of Mark III, but Lotus are running a more interesting composition.
Yeah, they're running that double bubble with the Genji, so, if you're Lotus, the way you want to play this is kind of slower paced than you're going to do with a Shadow Dive. You're trying to build up that nano as fast as you can, take slow engagements, or you wait for both the Tracer and Genji to be in a very diveable position, so that way Euphrasia, when they dive with the Winston, they're able to get out all the resources. That way Zadanu and Dead can just hop on in and get the finishing blows. But it's going to be very interesting going against Shadow Dive. It's a really good counter to that.
Absolutely. Bunny getting the first hack onto that main health pack means that is out of the equation. The hack onto the Winston also comes out from the Sombra of Bunny, and Mark III start to make a little bit in advance, but that is a huge pick from Dead Scorpion onto the flex support here for Mark III, and now both supports are dead. Suddenly, Lotus have turned this around, and Mark III are not going to be able to take this first point very easily due to the situation, and just like that, Lotus are going to be taking the point first.
Yeah, that's really something you've got to be wary of. Quebcake's really got to be careful there. You can't get picked so early, especially when we're in this, the 6-man Shadow Dive here. But the way to beat it, double bubble or Shadow Dive, is you just let cooldowns happen. So whoever dived first honestly puts themselves in a bad position. And that's what happened to Mark III.
Absolutely, and Mark III trying to now push again onto that high ground, but the Primal Rage coming out for Euphoria is able to knock off John Pon on the Reaper, and just like that, you see Mark III, they're starting to disengage here. Big hack onto Euphoria, however, is able to make it so he's not able to escape from that, but Dead Scorpion already gets 2 with that Tracer, 1 on the Pulse Bomb with McRice, and once again, Mark III are resetting, and Lotus have taken continued control at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Scorpion right now is doing a lot of pressure on that backline with the Tracer. Really great pulls. Euphrasia got a nice little boot there on John Pond. Primal. That's 2 really good ults, so now they just got to be careful because Bunny's coming up on that EMP. FFK's got the Coalescence. They're probably going to pop that Co first to, start the engagement. But, ooh, Nanoblade.
Nanoblade comes out here from Zanzanu and Pineapple Bro, but Jompon already gets the kill off the Euphoria. Zanzanu is able to get the pick up onto Kebcake on that Moira, but the EMP comes out from Bunny and it gets 3 into it. And Mark 3 are going to be finally winning a point here and taking the point, winning the fight, and now they're counting up. 67% on the field for Lotus, however.
No, I gotta love it right now. Both Winstons on each team have gotten a nice Primal off the map. That was a beautiful juggle coming from Taraknon right there, just knocking Pineapple Bro right off the map. Just good follow-up. Gotta love that, skill play.
And now we see Mark 3. They're trying to set up here on the high ground. Obviously, the approach from Lotus is going to be to try and take control, but here comes the jump in from Euphoria onto the high ground, and the bomb comes out from the D.Va on the side of Lotus. The Pulse Bomb also comes out, and it gets 1 pick onto McRice. The sound barrier is no longer available here for Mark 3. Neptune trying to do, or I believe it. Sorry, I apologize. But you do see Lotus trying to push in here with every sort of thing that they've been able to do. And Appa gets 2 with the Whip Flail on the Brigida, and just like that, Lotus is taken back at the point. Only 45% taken from Mark 3.
Yeah, right now Mark 3 really needs to, watch out for Dead. Dead is just being the constant damage dealer and pick maker. Like, you gotta stop his Tracer. It might be time to, they got the Death Blossom coming up. They're about to come on another EMP. It's last fight territory. I'd say probably pull out some stuns next round.
With the bomb coming out here from Mark 3, is unable to get anything, but is able to force them back. And Mark 3 actually flipped the point. 46% for them, 90% for Lotus. But the Primal Rage comes out already from Euphoria, and there is the first pick. Pineapple Bro able to eliminate his counterpart, Moira, on the enemy team. Jompon gets the Death Blossom off and is able to get Dead Scorpion, but it might not be enough, as Euphoria is able to get the kill on the Terracticon. And now, once again, Lotus are still winning this fight. Zanzanu able to pull out the Nanoblade again, gets the dash onto Jompon and onto Tom. And on to Thomas on the D.Va. And Lotus in control at this point, 95%. It doesn't look like anybody from Mark 3 is going to be able to touch.
Ooh, actually, Bunny was able to get a 4-man EMP. Now the Coalescence is coming out, but might not be enough here as the trades coming in. Both main supports taken down.
Yep, interesting to see that McRae and Appa fall, and Pineapple Bro, however, falls to the side of Lotus. It's even here for Mark 3 to try and win this point, and Taraknon has this Primal Rage if he needs to. But the Moira is down. Now there's no supports on the side of Mark 3, and Taraknon is forced to use the Primal Rage. He's able to get the kill off onto the D.Va, however, with the help of Bunny on that Sombra, and Mark 3 are going to flip back the point here, 99% for the side of Lotus, and Mark 3 are trying to bring it back up to 99 as well.
I mean, and honestly, they had to pop a lot of ults there to get it, but luckily for them, Lotus had used a lot of ults to fight beforehand and lost a couple early picks. So right now, the ult economy is looking very, evenly matched. Jompon did switch over to the Tracer, so hopefully they can, kind of keep Dead Scorpion from doing too much.
Oh, and that's an early hack coming on to Appa. That means that Appa doesn't have any of his CC abilities and ends up dying to the hands of Bunny. Taraknon, however, dies to the hands of Dead Scorpion on the Pulse Bomb, and that's another Pulse Bomb coming out from Jompon on the Tracer, able to eliminate Euphoria. The hack came onto the D.Va, and now there's no protection for the rest of the team, and Mark 3 have won this fight pretty much, eliminating all the staggers. The D.Va unable to get the bomb out from the side of Lotus, and just like that, you're going to see Mark 3 take the first point here.
That was a good recovery coming from Mark 3 right there. I think Jompon switching over to the Tracer at the end was a great call because, as much as he was putting pressure on Euphrasia, is that the name? Yeah, Euphoria,
Euphrasia.
The name disappeared before I could read it, and my dyslexia kicked in at the end. So, anyways, was putting a lot of pressure on that Winston, but honestly, they realized, Dead Scorpion, like I said, has been just constantly getting the picks that they need on Lotus. So switching over to the Tracer, trying to do that mirror matchup definitely helped. But Dead Scorpion, oh my goodness gracious.
Absolutely.
They just, honestly, not a Tracer diff, but they have just been goated on this Tracer. Not one Pulse Bomb was wasted. Every Pulse Bomb got a kill.
Absolutely. Now we come out here to Oasis University, more of a brawl style map. We do see the brawl styles coming out. On the side of Lotus, you see the Reaper Cowboy combo. On the side of Mark 3, they have the May Cowboy, which might be a little bit better in terms of brawl efficiency and being able to eliminate stuff. But you do see Lotus, they do have first control here of this point. Mark 3 are forced to try and push into them, as Lotus do have control of this right room. Obviously very important because of the health back, and Tarakton falls very low, but is able to be survived by the rest of his team, as now he's trying to push in, gets the stun off, but is still alive, and Mark III have taken control at this point, but Neprin gets the kill on the Tarakton. It's still winnable here for Lotus, as Mark III take the first point cap, and you can see they're trying to push forward as fast as they can, but it's really hard. The window invested here from Kebcake on the side of Mark III as McRice falls in the hand of Neprin. This might be a lost fight for Mark III here, as looks like Lotus is going to be able to take control of the point.
I don't know. With Tarakton being able to get back and taking down Pineapple Bro, there's no, main support, naming heals coming in, and it looks like they're able to hold on just barely. What a good recovery, good picks. It looked like Mark III was going to fall, but that window from Kebcake, beautiful call right there from off support.
I would say the most concerning thing is the ult percentage, because you said like, hey, they won this fight, but look at the ult percentages. This is obviously gonna be bad though.
But I mean, even if they lose this fight, they'll have another fight afterwards, so they just want to work on building their ults this fight.
Fair enough, as the Deadeye comes out from John Pond, but the wall from Bunny able to block it, and now Mark III, they still have control at this point, but John Pond gets the pick off on the Lucio, that's huge, and the Shatter comes out from Tarakton, able to eliminate everybody on the side of Lotus, and Lotus sent back to the drawing board, sent back to spawn, and Mark III continue to hold.
I mean, look at that. We were just talking about the ult percentage. Right there, you had 2 ults hop from Lotus that were absolutely just denied. Tarakton got that shatter in, and voila, now the ult percentage is equal, but here comes another window.
The window comes out, and so does the grab from Neprin, but it's unable to get really anything big as there's no follow-up. The Deadeye comes out from Zandu and is unable to get anything, and the Blossom comes out from Dead Scorpion, able to eliminate John Pond, but it's getting evened out. Tarakton able to get 2 alongside McRice, and Mark III with that Diva Bomb have won the fight again, 89% on the board here, and they might be able to win Oasis.
Yeah, that was really good. The only one who's going to be able to touch right now is your Euphrasia. That wall is just going to slow them down just enough, and wow! What a great start from Mark III. It was not looking too great on, City Center here, but when we come over to University, it looks so much better. I think partially it's because Tracknon is just an amazing Reinhardt. Was able to block that shatter, got their shatter in, and you know what? I think the ults that were used from the side of Mark III here on University, I won't say we're better, but we're more effective, So that early window from Kebcake kept them the point. They were able to, regroup. We were, it looked a little, dangerous because you had about 4 ults coming on the side of Lotus, but they just didn't pop them. And boom, right there you have it, folks. Mark III takes the first map. I mean, you got to know it's going to be good. And I know when that very first map of Control is 99 to 99, you got to love it. But Bunny's going to be my MVP for that first round because without that last second touch, allowing Mark III to, recapture it, we could have been on a third map there on Oasis.
Absolutely, and Tarakton on that Reinhardt showing a lot of strength. Might be more of a Reinhardt player than a Winston player, and honestly, I respect that. So we're going to see if it's able to make any sort of difference here as we are waiting for map number 2 here from the side of Lotus. As they lost the map, they will be taking the second map pick. We're also sorting through some technical difficulties here. We apologize for that, but we're starting to sort it all out here. But what do you think the map choice here from Lotus is going to be?
Well, it looks like it's going to be Volskaya here, which I think is actually a really good call considering, you have either Anubis or Hanamura. Well, they already know that Tarakton feels very comfortable on that Reinhardt here, and between the 3 maps, Hanamura is probably the one you want to stick off the most. Anubis can be kind of good, but it favors more of maybe a double shield, double bubble kind of fight, but Volskaya Industries, I mean, come on. You're not really running the Reinhardt too much on here unless you're just planning to rush them over, but the rush can be kind of like a hit or miss. And I think Mark III's probably going to try to run maybe that Shadow Dive again here because we saw them come out on City Center. So that's what personally I would assume that they would run. Or they might even try to run. I don't know how comfortable Tarakton is with the ball, but they could also come out with the ball far comp. Because like I said before, when I played with them in UGC, that's what we ran a lot, was a lot of Farah and ball. But who knows?
Yeah, if we wait here for the match to start, we do see some people jumping off the edge in traditional Volskaya fashion. You know, you always want to take a swim into those frozen Russian waters here on Volskaya Industries, but it looks like we're going to be coming out with actual compositions this time. You obviously mentioned the Shadow Dive coming out from Mark III, but what do you think they're going to be pulling here on the defense?
On the defense here, I would say they're either going to run a double bubble or maybe a straight dive composition with Diva, Monkey. Or they might actually just come out with Rush, have, you know, May, Ryan, Lucio. The one thing I definitely don't think I'll see them coming out is with Ball for sure, and definitely not Hog. Tom Joe's an amazing Diva player, so I don't know why you wouldn't have them on that Diva. And yeah, here we go. Look at that. That dive, like I was saying, with McCree as your second DPS along with the Tracer. So John Pond and Teracton need to make sure they have that, you know, synergy when they go in for these dives here. And, you know, Teractron was actually just picked up from Mark III just a couple days ago. They've, you know, been testing them out in the waters during their scrims last week. And so we're seeing they're really starting to get that synergy built here, but just because they're starting to build it doesn't mean they completely have it yet. And I think that's one reason why we saw them kind of a little hesitant on the Winston place. So we're going to see how well they do here on defense.
Yeah, so Mark III obviously starting on the defense. On the attack, you do see Lotus. They're running out again with their dive composition. They have Zantnu on the Genji again. This is not the first time we've seen Zantnu on the Genji, and I think it's a good reason. You know, Nanoblade is a huge impact ability as Teracton gets almost melted here from all the pressure coming in, and the dive starts to come in here from Lotus. Question is, do they take which high ground, and also are they able to keep Pineapple Bro alive? Because that Tracer John Pond is just going to harass them.
Yeah, they're going to need to play slow, like I was saying before, when you're running this Genji. You just want to play to build Nano, and then just pop the Nano Blade here. The only thing Zantnu's got to worry about is the McCree stun when he goes for the supports, plus the Brigitte. Clickbait on that Brigitte is kind of terrifying.
Absolutely. The sleep comes in from Euphoria as he tried to dive in, and the counter dive is there from Teracton, but guess what? The rest of Lotus is there. Netburn gets the final kill, and just like that, the main tank is missing from both teams. Now as Euphoria dies to the hands of Tom Joe. And now Bunny getting the kill onto Appa means that there's only one support here for the side of Lotus, and the D-Mech on a Netburn pretty much means that Lotus is going to have a lot of struggles, and now with Pineapple Bro dying, that pretty much is a lost fight here for Lotus, and Mark III is going to be able to hold with Netburn getting staggered out here on the Baby Diva. His best bet is just jump off the edge.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other thing too, Lotus needs to do maybe is because they're playing into a dive themselves, is like I was saying before on Oasis, you kind of want to wait for people to use their abilities, because what you can do is you can kind of treat it like a shadow dive, a 6-man dive, and when that person jumps in, everyone jumps in on them because they don't have the cooldowns to get out, especially since Tom Joe's on the debuff. Ooh!
Oh! John Pond gets the first pick on the Pineapple Bro with the Pulse Bomb, and then all chaos ensues for the side of Lotus. A 3K thus far for John Pond, trying to make it 4, but unfortunately unable to get... Actually, he does make it a 4. He gets dead Scorpion at the end. John Pond ripping up the enemy team here on this Tracer. 2 minutes on the clock, and Lotus still need answers.
Yeah, and that's huge too, because all they had to do was use Pulse, which, if you ask me, Pulse is a throwaway ult. You throw it out and you hope you get a pick. Well, these Tracers tonight prove me wrong. It's not a throwaway pick. It's a game-winning fight pick. So let's go.
Yep, and now you do see Lotus. They're taking the wide angle. The Pulse Bomb comes out from Dead Scorpion. He's able to get McRice. But guess what? The Nano also came out onto Teracton, and he's trying to go into the enemy team of Lotus, into the small room. Busts out the Primal as well, trying to do as much power as he can into there. And Tom Joe loses the mech as a result. Appa dies to the hands of Teracton's Primal Rage, and Euphoria pops his own in order to eliminate Tom Joe on the Baby Diva. The Deadeye comes from Bunny. He gets booped around, but it doesn't matter. He's able to get the kill onto Euphoria, and also get the kill on a Netburn as he was using the Diva Bomb. Suddenly, Lotus have lost this fight, but here comes the Nano Blade from Zantnu, trying to do as much damage as possible. Gets 1 with Bunny, trying to get 2 with Kebcake, able to get 2 with John Pond, and gets Kebcake with the final slice. All that's left is Dead Scorpion on the point, and McRice is running back here with Tom Joe in Cho. The rally comes out from Appa, and a huge anti-nade hit there from McRice, but there's no follow-up to follow up on it. Lotus have been able to take control at this point after an incredibly messy engage, with ults being thrown left and right, and Mark III are going to have to hope for a point B stall.
Yeah, all honesty, I kind of feel like Lotus kind of rushed it on that rally. I understand Appa was like, we got to get this point. It looks like they're coming back, but if you paid attention to, like, you know, the time of deaths, it was just going to be McRice and Tom Joe there for that contest. But hey, you know what? It's better to have more time on the clock than none, so you got to do what you got to do.
They also had that 98 hit from them from McRice, which means the rally was able to do more than any sort of healing that Alpha could have been able to pull off. So now Lotus trying to find any sort of way to engage into Mark III here on the defense. They do have that pulse run from Dead Scorpion, so he's able to get a big pick like in the backline. Euphoria goes straight for the backline, gets slept, gets antied. The main tank experience in full swing. Still able to survive, however, but Neprin loses the mech as a result. And now Lotus, they lose Euphoria late in the fight, and just like that, you're going to be seeing Lotus reset. Mark III get a hold here, and all they used was the rally.
I was actually very scared for Mark III. Tarakon had the pulse stick onto them and jumped right into their team, but luckily, there was just a little bit of shit left from Quake that blocked the damage, but that almost was a 3K bomb if it wasn't for that just slight little bit of protection.
Absolutely, and now Lotus, they have 0 ults now pushing in here. Their best bet probably, you would say, is to just build the Nanoblade and then fight when they have it, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Quake used the rally last fight. You can build that Nanoblade a lot quicker. Ooh, but John Pond once again.
John Pond gets the pulse bump stick, this time on the op on the Brigida. Dead Scorpion, however, able to eliminate John Pond, and Tarakton dies to the hands of Xantnu. It's still winnable here for Lotus as they're trying to push him, yet they don't have their main support hero. Euphoria once again slept, antied, and nanoed. Now he's just having the full main tank experience, but a tick is still gained for Lotus. The Deadeye eaten entirely by Nepper, and a huge play by the Diva there as Tarakton and Euphoria both prompt the primals, and Tarakton knocks Euphoria off with the primal, despite the fact he had his own. Lotus finally has had so much enthusiasm pushing this fight, but they're still unfortunately going to lose just because of that amazing play from Tarakton, and Mark III hold 1 minute and 35 seconds on the clock here for Lotus to try and take 2 ticks.
Yeah, but you know what? Getting that tick was actually very huge because now Xantnu doesn't have the nano coming up, but Pineapple Bro is about 60% ult charge on a new nano, so that's huge for them. But if they wanted to do a dry blade and let Euphoria take that nano instead, they can do that because A, Quake still doesn't have the rally, and B, if you're able to do a team white here, that should be an easy 2 ticks.
The nano comes out onto Tarakton, and he almost found Xantnu on the Genji. And now you see Lotus are trying to engage. They already get the D-Mech onto Tomjo, who uses the bomb as a preface to get the mech back, and Xantnu dies. Thankfully saved his blade, but however, there's only 60 seconds here, and Appa gets Pulse Bomb stuck, but John Pond gets stunned by Appa and ends up killing himself in the process. But now you see Lotus, they're retreating from this fight. They're trying to build up all the ults as fast as possible, and Pineapple Bro has the nano, but might die late here to the hands of Tarakton. Once that anti-nade has anything to say about it, Tarakton very low, he's gonna retreat. And now only 30 seconds on the clock here for Lotus to try and get any progress they can.
Yeah, and unfortunately now, I mean, yeah, Xantnu's got the Nanoblade here, but Quake has the rally finally, which means there's a little bit of safety net for Mark III. It's going to come down to the wire, and Lotus is going to have to just deal with getting 0 seconds, but trying to get the second take because they don't have enough time.
We know the win condition for Lotus. It's obviously this Nanoblade, but Tarakton already pulls out the Primal Rage, and he knocks out Primal Bro before they're able to use the Nano. The Blade won't be able to use but a Nano, and Tarakton, both supports dead now on the side of Lotus. The bomb is blocked entirely from Nipturn, and just like that, Mark III are going to be able to hold here on Volskaya Point B. 57% taken from Lotus as Xantnu tries to dash on in. No Nano in hand, unfortunately not going to be able to use the Blade. And just like that, that's a lost fight for Lotus. They are going to be ending their attack with 57% on the in their percentage, with only 1 point taken on Volskaya.
I mean, that's a huge defense coming out from the side of Mark III. Tarakton kind of making us eat our own words earlier. You know, we were saying his Winston wasn't looking that great, but right then and there, oh my goodness, 3 primal off the map kills. Not to mention, like you were saying before, knock the other Winston who was in primal off the map. That is just massive play here. It's like watching XQC Overwatch Season 1 again. You just love to see the Winston tech coming out from these main tank players. John Pond, honestly, huge on these early Pulse Bomb picks, was able to get a support each time and kept, like I said, Dead Scorpion, not as effective as they were on Oasis first point. John Pond's really putting that pressure in on them. So now we're going to see this double shield coming out because they're like, hey, we weren't really beating them with the dive, so let's go to a poke composition. So you're going to see that Sigma, you're going to see that Orisa, you're going to see the Baptiste, the Mercy to help Xantnu on the Echo. The Soldier's good because you can, Helix pull, but it's not as easy. Personally speaking, I think an Ashe Dynamite would be a lot easier to run here, but Soldier is just so much stronger right now because of that last buff he got, or the nerfs to the rest of the hit scans were. But you know what? It's fine, because if I'm Mark III, I'm playing this nice and safe. You can play it one of two ways. Because they are running the dive, you can just set up for the dive, look for, you know, maybe the echo after they've used their cooldowns, or just jump straight on and say, hey, let's just make sure we're going for the BAP, right? Or the third thing you can do is, like I've been saying all along, if you're running that on it, you can just build nano and just nano the Winston and jump in on the whole team, and you're going to get somebody. You're going to force down cooldowns. So it's really not that bad of a trade.
Now Mark III, planning out their approach. They're running the exact same comp we saw them run on defense with the Cowboy Tracer and the and a Brig. So they want to stick on this comp. They think it's very successful, and it looks like they're going to be going for the garage control here, as the enemy team is facing them on the other side of the high ground. This is exactly how Lotus should be playing, and this is exactly how Mark III are going to be pushing the engage. Taraktin used the bubble early, however. That's big because now he's not able to push in. What is the approach tactic here from Mark III as Tom Joe loses the mech?
Yeah, like I was saying, what they can do here is just build nano, because look, McRice is already at 64%. Now they're a little not happy because they did lose the mech here, but once again, they're just going to play slow. They're going to build that nano up, you know, let John Pond get into position, and once that happens, boom, it's just easy. But oh, Tracton, you can't get taken down there. That's unfortunate. The Brig runs out of packs, and McRice can only heal so much, but they do have that nano coming in, so now they just got to wait for the remag and for Tracton to come back in, and it should be an easy engagement for them.
Well, guess what? Dondu doesn't want that engage to happen. He's able to get the kill onto Bunny from the sidelines, and now that's once again another stagger here for Mark III. They're still trying to stabilize here. They're still trying to set up some sort of dive, but it's just not working right now because they're all getting picked off one by one. The anti-nade used here from McRice trying to heal up Kebcake, and they're still waiting for Taraktin to come back. John Pond, however, he's looking for a sneaky sort of engage here in the Tracer.
Yeah, and while he's doing that, it should be Dead Scorpion's job to kind of scout that out, because they're like, we haven't seen John Pond in a while. And here we go. Here comes the engagement with that nano.
The nano comes out onto Taraktin. He's able to eliminate Primal Bro immediately. John Pond in the background, also able to help and able to get two. And the Deadeye comes out. It's able to get McRice, but not able to get anything else. And now all that's left is Appa and Dead Scorpion here. Meanwhile, the Primal from Zatanu, he's able to duplicate, and he's able to get Kebcake, and the result, Appa gets the res off onto Euphoria, and Zatanu has gotten 2 picks thus far. It's still winnable for Lotus. The Pulse Bomb is a miss from John Pond. That's probably the first time this match, and Lotus have hold.
That was an insane slowdown play coming out from Lotus right there. They took their time. They had a really great copy there. But you know what, though? As good as it was, it's really scary because all they have coming up now is Bongo, and Bongo's huge. I mean, they'll get the window mid-fight, but you got to worry about the Primal coming in. You got to think that Diva's coming close to Bomb, and you got to think they're close to the Deadeye here. So right now, as far as ult percentage goes, that was actually a kind of huge win. It just took way too much time for Mark III.
And now you see the big pit flash from Bunny trying to get Appa on the Mercy, but is unable to, but he's able to get it in the aftermath. That's huge. That's a big pickoff here from Lotus as the drum is initiated from Euphoria. The Primal comes out from Taraktin trying to bump up everybody off that high ground, but he ends up dying to the hands of Dead Scorpion. Bunny pulls out the Deadeye, unable to get any kills, and Euphoria gets the final kill onto him. Just like that, Lotus they've used a lot of ults. Primal Bro using that window is a very late move and a very questionable move, but they've won the fight. And only 30 seconds here for Mark III. They don't have a lot in the bank to offer.
No, and unfortunately, the only things they have coming up is, well, they're about to have Nano again. They do have the Diva Bomb, and they have the Rally here. They just got to play it smart, right? John Pond's got to be able to get like a little damage, force out maybe an early immortality here, and then Tom Joe can just lay that bomb up. But it's going to be hard. But we do see a switch over to the Reinhardt, which is actually probably a good call.
Here comes the Flux coming out from Nepern, and the bomb comes out from Tom Joe, able to eliminate the immortality field, and Euphoria dies at the hands of Bunny in the aftermath. Now Mark III putting themselves on the point with this Reinhardt, but the tactical visor is coming out from Dead Scorpion, trying to get any sort of kills as possible. That rally from Kebcake there, however, is there to support the team, and Bunny gets the kill off on the Nepern, and just like that, the pieces of Lotus are falling apart. Mark III have finally broken through this flower and are taking the first point in this series. Now all they need is 57% here in the 3 minutes to do so.
Yeah, and, you know, once again, Dracton's now on that Reinhardt here, so they can be a little more brawly. They are running the Ana, which, you know, not favorable when it comes to Reinhardt if you want to compare it to Baptiste, but hey, 64% on that Shatter, this could be huge, because all they have to do is win one team fight, and it's over.
Tarakton already making his way forward. He goes a little bit forward there, almost getting melted down because of the shield from Nepper, and it would have been a big play if he died in the aftermath. And guess what? He does to the hands of Zotnu. That's 3 assists there to try and eliminate Tarakton on that Reinhardt. And now Mark 3 without their main tank, they lose Jonpon as well. It looks like they're going to be retreating here. Maybe a late stagger kill on the Bunny, but that's the most that Lotus is going to get here. Never mind, Bunny was able to get the kill on the Zotnu, but McRice dies to the hands of Nepper, and once again, that is Lotus going to be establishing a hold here, and Mark 3 are sent back to the drawing board.
But it's actually not a terrible fight because, you know, they didn't have any ults, and after that one fight, they now have 4 ults coming up, almost all 6 here. Granted, you know, Lotus does have their ults as well, but if you look at the Nano and you look how aggressive Tarakton can be, or you can do the Nano Cowboy, or you like Jonpon even. You have so many good Nano targets right now. All you have to do is make sure you force out that immortality from Pineapple Bro, and it should be an easy dub coming in from Mark 3 as long as Zotnu doesn't get a good copy. Mark 3 doesn't just pay attention as soon as that copy happens and melts.
Now, you do see Mark 3 taking an interesting approach. They're actually going to be taking the moving platforms here instead of going the traditional route. All 6 of them crowding around this platform just like a subway train. And now it looks like they'll be taking the right side. Jonpon, however, is on the right side of the point. He's actually in the back line of Lotus. So obviously that pulse bomb gonna come out, is able to get Zantanu not in the range of the immortality field, and the res has to be invested early. The graphitic flux comes out from Nepern, however, able to get the Reinhardt, and the Deadeye comes out from Bunny, but the duplicate from Zantanu able to cancel out the Deadeye and be able to get him. Tarakton, however, gets 2 on the point. Dead Scorpion able to get 2 from the side of Lotus, and just like that, Mark 3 probably going to be sent back to the drawing board here, as it's only the supports alive, and they're going to be dying in the aftermath. Only 46% here for Mark 3 to get any sort of progress, and that's not looking good for them.
That is so unlucky coming in from Mark 3 because Jonpon got exactly what you wanted. He was able to get a pick, force the res, and force the immortality, but that flux coming in from Neprin just kept them at bay. It was just, it was a good defensive play coming in from Lotus.
Yep, Lotus with an amazing defense, being able to keep everything under control, but now Mark 3, they're pushing in with the Rally, the Bomb, and the Shatter. See if they're able to do anything with these ults, as Tarakton, first to step on the point, and the Deadeye, the Tactical Visor already comes out from Dead Scorpion, and he eliminates the main heals and McRice. That's a big pick, but Tomjo able to eliminate Dead Scorpion on the Soldier. The bomb comes out from Tomjo, and Lotus, no establishment on the point until Euphoria drops in with the drum and is able to get Cupcake. No supports left on the side of Mark 3, but Bunny able to get the kill. It's still winnable for Mark 3 despite having no supports on the field. They only need 57%. Lotus almost step off the point to make it so that they get the win, but it's not going to be enough. McRice on the Lucio is the only last remaining person, and it looks like he's going to be dying to the hands of Pineapple Bro. And with that amazing defense and a good attack, that's going to be Lotus winning map number 2.
Yeah, that was a map for the ages right there. Not very often do we get to see a 2-point only from both teams where they barely get a tick and a half of a second point, especially on Volskaya. Now, here we go. Trackdown, once again.
Yeah.
They can play that Winston. What a beautiful play. I mean, they were just set up. They were kind of asked before this on Lotus. But Lotus,
Yikes.
Amazing defense there.
That gets a yikes out of 10 for me in terms of a Winston Primal play. That's one of the scariest Primal plays I think I've seen all season here in Tranquility. And really good play from Tarakton. Unfortunately, not enough to get Mark 3 their second map victory in this matchup. But they still have potential. We still have 2 more maps at least to play here to decide a winner for this Discord tier match. When we get back from halftime, we're going to be seeing who's going to be able to win here between Mark 3 and Lotus. We'll see you guys at the end of the break. Welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility regular season coverage. If you've missed the match so far, we've been covering an exciting Discord tier match between Mark III and Lotus, currently tied at the half as we head into map 3. And the map choice for map 3 is Nimbani. Gizmo, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, honestly, at first I was going to be a little shocked that they didn't pick one of the other ones, considering, Taraknon likes the Reinhardt. But what we saw with that Winston, oh my goodness, I think this is actually a really good pick for them. John Pon's been amazing on the Tracer. Now we have McRice coming in on DPS. They took out Bunny. They brought in the Potato Lord for their support line. So we're going to see a different support coming out. We're going to see one different DPS, and Rice's support was, okay. But DPS, that was my DPS buddy when I was on Mark III, so I know for a fact that this might change up just a little bit better than, Bunny, but Bunny was doing a lot of work, so Rice got to really show it up now that Rice is going to be playing that McCree role. So, we're going to see a lot of dive here, because if you're on Nimbani, you got to play at least some kind of dive, right? You can play Shadow Dive, you can play Double Bubble, you can play regular dive, but you're going to have to play some dive here on the first point. Once you capture the objective, you need to swap over to whatever you need if you're on attack. Now, defense, you can start with the dive, which personally I prefer thing to start with, but I know a lot of teams like to run that double shield, and what we saw coming from Lotus, that double shield was really good, but I'm just going to hold off before I say, yeah, okay, looks like they're going to stick with this. A Symmetra Hog.
Well, that's obviously the attack. They could just be messing around in spawn. They don't really have to be playing the Roadhog, but it is definitely interesting. We are seeing the dive come out from the side of Mark III. Interesting, though, we see McRice on the Tracer and John Pon on the Cowboy. We were talking so much about John Pon's Tracer being good, but now they've swapped over to the Cowboy. Does this mean McRice is better or better suited for their playstyle?
Okay, so once again, me and Rice were the DPS back when we were in UGC, and he was always on the Tracer, and I was always on the Far or the Sombra. So yeah, I'd say probably more respectable seeing him on that, and John Pon can play a little more back on the tree and be a little more relaxed. So we'll see how it goes, but I definitely think Rice on the Tracer is better call.
Interesting call here from Lotus, however. They're playing a brawl style with the Symmetra TP, trying to TP on, but guess what? A massive anti-nade waits for them at the door, thanks to Kebcake. Euphoria able to get two there. Both supports are dead now on the side of Mark III, but the rest of the team on the side of Lotus is pretty much all dead in the grave, and McRice gets two with that Tracer. Make it three here onto the mech of Nepern, and Nepern's going to be staggered out here on the Baby D.Va. A very good engage strategy coming out from Lotus, just poorly executed with that anti-nade from Kebcake.
Yeah, it is a good strategy, but it can be kind of a two-sided sword, because once we saw A, that anti-nade came out, but B, they kind of pinched themselves into that little room there. They don't really have much room, and what we've seen from these Tracers tonight, I kind of want to make sure I have my back against the wall if I'm going to do a strategy like that. So maybe instead of going right on top of them where they could have like held off to the side, and it's up to the D.Va there, Nepner, to make sure they're eating as soon as they go through that TP. They should be the first one going through. Just have that eat out, so that way they can take care of the stun, they can take care of the sleep, the anti-nade, and boom. Just like
well,
that.
guess what? They're doing it again. This time the anti-nade doesn't get any value, and John Pon gets two with the Deadeye. That's the fight already over here from Lotus. That's a massive shatter coming out from Euphoria, but there's no follow-up because everybody's dead on the side of Lotus. And once again, with Nepern getting staggered here on the Baby D.Va, that's another fight loss for Lotus. Nepern gets the final blow into McRice, however, on the Tracer.
Yeah. But we do see the sim coming off, so they're not going to try that strategy again. Once again, if you're going to do that sim strat, it's not bad, because it's like you're diving with a brawl, but you got to make sure you get your D.Va going in first, so that way they can eat whatever damage is coming through.
Already a huge pick coming out from Euphoria onto Tarakton, who tried to dive in there into the enemy team. Unfortunately, not the case here, as now here comes the bomb from Nepern trying to push in here from Lotus. No kills resulted of that, but they're still able to push themselves onto the point. Lotus now taking the first tick. There's the pulse run from McRice, and it's able to get up after a failed bash. The rally comes out here from the Potato Lord, and now Mark III are starting to push in back into the engage here. Potato Lord able to get the kill on Euphoria, and Tarakton harassing Dead Scorpion up on the high ground, while Lotus are now down a lot of their players as Zatnu and Pineapple Bro are the last to fall. That's once again going to be Lotus win the fight. Oh no! Neptune gets the remake kill and just dashes straight off the edge. I don't know about you, but that is insert dominance in the dictionary if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, you know what? I give respect when we get to see a Diva kill. Like, you know, last week Monarch was, you know, the featured match, and this map right here, I got a double remake kill. So, but I'm really appreciating these tank players getting all these boot kills, man. You just don't see enough environmental kills coming out from the tanks tonight. We've seen at least 6.
And the bombs coming out here from Tom Joe into the room there from Lotus. They're able to block it, able to make sure it doesn't get any value, but now a little bit of time has been burnt off the clock. Here comes the window from Pineapple Bro. Tarakton falls right immediately, and McRice able to get the kill off of the dead Scorpion. The Immortality Field used to block McRice's pulse bomb, and McRice dies in the hands of Nepern. Here comes the Tactical Visor from Zatnu. We've seen a lot of value out of these Tactical Visors today, and there's no exception here. Able to get the kill into John Pon, as now once again, Lotus make their way to the point. All that's left here is Tom Joe's Diva, and both supports for the side of Mark III, but Tarakton running back into the fray. Euphoria is meeting him right there on the point. The Shatter comes out onto Solo Shatter, onto Tarakton. He dies to the hands of Nepern, but guess what? Lotus are still trying to fight back against Mark III, as Euphoria is the only person at this point, but everybody else on Lotus has the high ground. Now with Euphoria dying, it's Nepern to step up to the plate and trying to contest this point. Looks like it's going to be a successful point capture here for Lotus, and Mark III are sent to the defense.
Yeah, but that was a really good defense coming out from Mark III. You know, usually when you come here onto Nabani, the teams just roll on offense first point, and then we used to get defense like that. But now you're talking about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to push it all of second point. That is massive on Nabani here. Because Nabani's one of those ones, it's kind of like a 2 CP where you really want to get that as much time as possible, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how much time, as long as you have a little bit of time bank in case you go to that OT. But right now, I mean, they're going to be pushing it down to the wire here.
John Pon makes the switch up onto the Hanzo now for the side of Mark III. Obviously wants a little bit more shield pressure. The response from Lotus, okay, we'll play Orisa Diva. No more Sigma Reinhardt, so definitely a good response as Nepern trying to make the first engage, but here comes Tarakton with the Primal Rage, starting to push into Lotus as they are all jumped up into that room. Here comes the Deadeye from Dead Scorpion, able to get the Ana of Keb Cake. That's one of the big supports here for Mark III out of the picture. The Pulse Bomb tries to come out for McRice, but he gets stunned by Appa and killed at the spot. Now, Lotus are still trying to push into this fight, as you see. Nepern trying to contest Potato Lord on that high ground as the bomb comes out from Tom Joe. Won't be able to get any picks, but John Pon able to get the final kill on the Dead Scorpion. Lotus are slowly but surely making their way over to point B, and they're going to get it. Lotus take point B, 2 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock to try and get to point C.
But now we're coming up to where it's hard on these hybrid maps because now the defense has the easier spot, which means stall is so much easier available. If I'm Mark III right now, what I'm betting on is either I'm aiming for that full hold, but I'm at least going to get them into that OT right now. In 2 minutes, as soon as they come around the corner, that's not a hard feat, but it's going to be hard because they have ults that are going to go against them. You got that tac visor, and you've got that window coming out right here.
The window and the rally come out from the sides of Lotus and Mark III, respectively, and already the DMEC on the Nepern is initiated. Appa gets charged back into spawn, and Zatnu uses the tac visor as a pretty much reflex, but is unable to get any kills with it. And Lotus, that quickly, because with 3 ults used on the enemy side, they've lost the fight. Nepern gets the remake, but is unable to get any kills with it, and looks like he's going to get staggered once again here on this baby Diva. His best bet is to just jump off the side of the edge and wait for the team to regroup.
Yeah, that's going to be massive.
Oh, no. Oh, no!
Tom Joe? What? Tom Joe, come on, you can't let him get the melee kill on you.
The melee kill into the pit. This is Sparta.
I'm going to tell you right now, no, Diva players such as myself are going to be happy in Overwatch 2 when Maid doesn't stop you, she just slows you down.
Yeah, and that's a big kill from Dead Scorpion onto John Pon there, and that means that Lotus have the advantage in this fight despite not having their Diva yet. Appa uses the rally and is able to get the whip shot kill onto Tarakton, and now you do see Lotus, they're able to get the card, and nobody from Mark III is there to touch! Mark III just sacrificed the point!
Ooh, that is unlucky. Tom Joe with a little bit of a throw play there, letting the melee come in. But it's okay. You know, they got him down to that minute and 3 seconds marker. So, unfortunately for Mark III now, in order to get that overtime play, they're going to have to get at least a second here. if it gets into that OT where it's dead silent, they're going to be shooting for that draw. But you know what? I respect the switches from both teams. The tanks were able to make proper switches. Tarakton realized, hey, Winston's not going to be able to play so well into a Diva Orisa, so let me go back and switch to Reinhardt. Just a few little mistakes that hopefully don't cause them in the end, but we'll see how they do. Now, I do believe we'll see a double shield. Yep. Or no, we're going to see the Orisa Diva once again coming out from Lotus here on the defense, which is not bad. I can't wait to see what Mark III is going to do because they kind of got rolled when they swapped over to that Diva Orisa, and partially because they didn't have the ults ready for it, but it's going to be different now. So here, if you're Mark III and you're going to stick on this, dive composition, once again, you can play it one of two ways. Since you're playing into a poke, probably just let Quebcake build that nano super quick, and then just dive the soldier, dive the brig, dive the Baptiste. But you're also going to have to make sure that your Diva is able to follow with you because, you dive up to the high ground, guess what? Everyone's going to jump down. But luckily, because they're not running into that counter dive or, the dive against dive, they don't have to worry about using their abilities and then having the whole team jump on them. They're able to dive a little more free.
Yeah, we do see a little bit different style here from Lotus. They're running the Soldier Hanzo. They were running the Cowboy Hanzo and the Soldier Cowboy before, but now they're running the Soldier Hanzo. A low ground approach coming out here from Mark III. Gets spotted out in the halt there from Euphoria, but you do see Tarakton trying to dive in there, able to get the dive onto Zatnu, but unable to get the kill as Mark III try to establish themselves on this point. Tarakton and Tomjo are hiding underneath, and the Potato Lord gets the kill on the Nepern thanks to McRice getting the D-Mech. Now you see Mark III trying to push up there, but the Potato Lord loses his life for it. Already one tick taken here from Mark III. They might be able to get the second if they're able to force off Euphoria. Dead Scorpion dies at the hands of John Pond. You do see that Tarakton trying to push into the enemy team, but unable to get any value as Appa gets the whip shot. That's 2 whip shot kills now for Appa on that Brigida, making huge use here for Lotus, and thankfully Lotus has been able to hold this stall as Kevcake gets moved off the map, and you're going to be seeing John Pond get staggered out here.
I want someone to go back tonight, watch the bot, and just count how many environmental kills we've had from these tanks, because I think that's number 8 right there. That's just impressive. But one thing I would say probably could have done differently from the side of Mark III is once they got that initial first pick, Tarakton kept jumping in to the support. And I understand you want to kill the support, but the support aren't, supporting the Orisa who's alone on point without Fortify. Why not take your Diva, go into the Orisa's face, and just melt them? That way you can get that second tick there. You might be able to continue playing, and then you go for the Brig and the Baptiste up top.
Focus seems to be all over the place here, and McRice gets killed by Dead Scorpion. There are no DPS here on the side of Mark III, but they are able to still set up a point here. There goes Tarakton using the Primal Rage early, and is able to get the kill on a Pineapple Bro. One support down here for Lotus, but Tomjo dies in the aftermath. John Pond able to get the revenge kill on the Zatnu after he killed him first in the beginning of the last engage, but Tarakton very low in the backline. Still able to get Appa, however. It's still winnable here for Mark III, but that Tactical Visor being popped by Dead Scorpion is pretty much going to be nail in the coffin here for Mark III, as they're going to have to retreat here. They did get that second tick, however, so slowly but surely making progress on this point. McRice tries to get the Pulse Bomb and misses, however.
Not seen too many misses from the Pulse, but when they happen tonight, it's been insane. But, it does take out that Scorpion, and that's actually very big considering they're about to have that nice regroup.
Dive from Tarakton comes in. He goes straight for the backline and gets harassed there from the members of Lotus, but Mark III are able to set up in the meantime. The rally comes out from Appa. The drum comes out from Euphoria. The bomb comes out from Tom Jones, able to get Euphoria on the Orisa. It's pretty much even here for the side of Lotus and Mark III, as all that's left is the Potato Lord on the Brigida. Unable to survive, though, but Appa dies on the other side, and the rematch kill from Nepern gets McRice. That's not good at all, as now Mark III, only 1 minute on the clock. They still need 33% here of point 1, or else they're going to be losing map 3 here to Lotus and go to match point.
We now see John Pond switch over to Sombra here, which is kind of a questionable call because it's late.
Oh, no.
Swap, but maybe they're looking for, hey, I'm going to get the last touch. They do have that rally. They just got to make sure they don't go into a tight space because Zanu does have that dragon up here. That dragon could be the clutch play coming in from Lotus to secure this second map here on, third map, second map point for them here on Numbani. So we're going to see what happens here, but that Sonic Arrow, yep, here it comes.
The Dragon Strike coming into that small hallway. Everyone barely able to dodge it. Tarakton is literally 1 health in that hallway. able to survive, however, and now the supports are together. The DPS also together for the side of Mark III as the dive comes in from Teractin with the nano boost. Able to try and separate everybody on that high ground, but Dead Scorpion once again has the tactical visor. Guess who's left alone on the point, though, is Euphoria, and he gets up antied and murdered by McRice on the Tracer. Mark III finally putting in some sort of defense here, and the Primal Rage comes out late, but Mark III will get the first point and will get the cart moving here as Teractin uses that late Primal to eliminate Dead Scorpion, and Lotus are sent back to the drawing board and sent back to the farthest spawn because they were unable to touch the point.
Yeah, honestly, if I was Teractin right now, I know the Winston's probably more a comfort pick compared to the Orisa, but they might want to try doing that Orisa Diva comp because right now it's just going to be very hard to jump in. This Diva Orisa comp makes it so hard for the Winston to be able to engage, and we've seen them like find the person who's out low, but I think there's just a little miscommunication from Mark III because you just don't see Tom Joe falling in right away, which means Teractin's getting low, he's able to survive, and boom. It's just kind of a lost fight by then.
Teractin's trying to set up a dive here. He's currently right underneath Lotus right now on that Winston. So we'll see what the dive attempt is going to be. Probably waiting for Kebcake to give him the nano boost. But guess what? You're not going to get the nano boost if you're dead. Nephron able to find out Teractin is there and gets the Elim onto him with the rockets. And Lotus pretty much have already established themselves as a whole here. There's little to no engage coming out here. From the side of Mark III, they're staggering themselves, and they're trying to wait for the rest of the team to come back. They have EMP, though.
They do have EMP. They have the Nano Monkey here, so this could be a huge win as long as Teractin doesn't get melted down again. Oh, as soon as I
you had to cast a curse it, man.
Yeah, Teractin just needs to slow down and wait. That's the issue right now with Mark III. They're getting a little too bit gung-ho on slamming on the gas.
Yeah, Teractin has mainly been peeking on this Winston a lot, and it's been costing Mark III a lot of time right now, because that's twice now that Teractin has been the first and only death in the fight because he was overextended or because he was peeking. So, looks like they're finally taking a little bit of a more calm approach. They're going to the stairway. John Pond does have his EMP set up, waiting for the EMP to engage, but here comes the engage for Teractin with a nano boost. Able to go in there, and Kebcake gets the anti-nade kill onto Appa on the Brigitte. The EMP gets canceled by the Dragon Strike of Zentanu! You don't see that every day as the bomb comes out here from Tom Joe, unable to get anything except the drum for Euphoria, but now only 17 seconds left in this fight, and Mark III have nothing. They only have this pulse bomb who's not able to get anything, and just like that, Lotus might have been able to win this just because of that one defense.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good play by Lotus. I think they finally found it. But, Teractin switched over the ball, is able to get, ooh, not over yet, but that window is just going to probably call it for them. Yeah, right there.
Yep. Tom Joe trying to dive in, but Pineapple Bro able to use the Immortality Field, keep the rest of the team alive, and unfortunately for Mark III, that long of a setup, unfortunately, was unable to yield a positive result. And in the end, you're going to be seeing Lotus take the second map in this series and go to match point against Mark III.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really hoping we get to see a map 5, and I know there's another NPC in the chat that's definitely looking forward to that. But you know what? Right now, if I'm Mark III, you gotta settle down. You gotta say, hey, Teractin, you gotta slow down a bit. You're jumping in without no help. You're kind of costing us, but you know what? He's not the only one that's been costing them. Because we did see a nice little throw coming in from Tom Joe getting a little melee kill booped from the DMAC Diva. Mark III still in this game. I think they can pull the turnaround for this next map. Also, that was the first map we saw the Potato Lord in there. So they have a chance, but Lotus, man, their defense just looks so solid. That Diva Orisa, man, you almost gotta want to curse Owl for showing people that Orisa Diva is actually a very comfortable tank pick right there, because it shuts down the dive so hard. It really does, because Diva's able to peel, Orisa can just drop the shield, can pull and stuff. There's so much you can do with that Orisa Diva, and I think, once again, the switch to the Sombra at the end from John Pond was a little late if they were going to do that, but you know what? They did it. They were able to get the first point, but then they just weren't able to get EMP. I mean, jumped right into a dragon, immediately gets killed, loses the EMP. There goes the fight. They were able to get the touch, but it doesn't matter at that point. So, coming on Rialto. So, personally, with the way our tanks have been playing tonight on both teams, I expect to see non-stop environmental kills. I really do.
If there is less than one environmental kill from a tank in this map, we're gonna have a lot of problems with both of these teams. Both of these teams are gonna have strict talks from us. But yeah, it's been an amazing game thus far. But Rialto is a very questionable pick coming out from Mark III. Of course, they lost the last map, so they choose Rialto here because we haven't seen a lot of long range hit scan coming out from them. The only thing we've really seen is that cowboy. So going to Rialto, which can really be a long-range hit scan map if played correctly, is a questionable move, I think.
Not necessarily. Mick Rice is a really good hit scan player. He can play Widow and Ashe very, very well. John Pond, I think, can hold her own with the Hanzo. And the other thing too is it kind of denies that Orisa Diva so much, which they've been coming in trouble. If you go to like Blizz World or you go to Hollywood, the Orisa Diva that's been giving them trouble can be huge on those two maps. This map, not so much. And I think it might come into a little better play too, because now Tracton can play that Reinhardt, which is what I was about to say, because you're not fighting an uphill battle like you are on Hollywood and you are on Blizz World. So Reinhardt becomes a little more easy to play here. You got a lot more corners to hide behind, which means you can rest your shield. You don't have to run the double shield. Just got to be careful now. They are going to be running into a double shield coming in from Lotus here, which means, poke versus brawl, it's not fun, but luckily John Paul is running the mace, so they are running the standard rush here with main McCree, which I think is a good call. And I know personally that Mark III has had a history of stopping teams on first point. I don't know about in Tranquility, but when I was on it, we would always stop people on the first point, but then we would mess up and take too long to get to first point, so it's kind of a double-edged sword for them.
Yeah, we'll see if his brawl comp is able to work against the double shield comp coming out from Lotus. Definitely interesting. They do have that Cowboy May, but they're running up against a Tracer Soldier coming out from Lotus, so we'll see who gets the upper hand in this matchup. Definitely more range and more damage coming out from the side of Lotus, but we'll have to see. Tarakton, however, staying on this corner here as Tom Joe trying to peek the high ground, which is where Lotus have set up, but Euphoria is stuck on the card alone, and the immediate response from Mark III is to push onto that. Tom Joe, however, sacrifices life for it, and all of a sudden, all the roles are reversed. Mark III are on the attack, and Lotus are on the defense, as Tarakton's able to get the kill onto Appa, and just like that, Mark III have pretty much convincingly won this fight. The rest of Lotus is up on the high ground, and there is a Maywall from John Pond to try and get up there. We'll see if there's any damage done there, but the Potato Lord dies at the hands of Netburn on the Sigma. That's not good. If the Baptiste dies, that means there's no supports here for Mark III.
No, it really doesn't. And it looks like we will see Lotus be able to finally push this in. It should be a secure fight. We might see a little bit of contest coming in from Mark III, but it's not going to be too much. Even if Rice getting, Pineapple Bro, it's not going to matter. Lotus has just secured the first point pretty easy. It was, kind of questionable play, but hey, the only thing I'd be worrying about now is what ults are you coming up on. Are they going to go for this contest? And it looks like they might, and they will get it. And that's
a big wall. That's a massive wall onto Netford and the bomb from Tom Joe, able to get Zatnu's pulse bomb. That is massive. Not able to send Chemcage, however, from that tactical visor. McRice dies as well in the aftermath. Now you have 2 down on the side of Mark III compared to Appa and Netburn down on the side of Lotus. This might be winnable here for Mark III, however, because they have the close response, but Dead Scorpion's in the backline. Unless Tarakton is able to recognize it and able to swing his hammer in that direction, over Tom Joe just boop Dead Scorpion into the river. I forgot these tanks are boop heavy tanks. And just like that, Mark III are able to hold here for a little bit as Zatnu is the last person trying to get out of there. A late window from Pineapple Bro, however. That is a very questionable window considering there was so much down. The Shatter is blocked coming out from Tarakton, and the Flux comes out from Netburn. It is back and forth. Ults are being used from every single side, and Lotus are still losing this fight regardless of the fact that they've used 3 extra ults than they should have. And they're still ults being used.
Wow. Might have been a fat finger there from Quailcake. But, here's what I was saying, man. Mark III can hold this first point very well. For some weird reason, they're just able to do it. And then it's just going to be the attack that's going to be the issue.
Here comes the bomb coming out from Tom Jum. He dies to the hands of Nephren, however, and now that's 1 down on both sides with Dead Scorpion getting killed by McRice. Appa dies to the hands of John Pond, and once again, Mark III stabilizing this. They did use the Diva Bomb, but that's the only ult they've been able to expend. The Pulse Bomb from Zatnu is a whiff, and John Pond gets the headshot kill onto Zatnu to end his life and send Lotus back to the drawing board, back to spawn with only 50 seconds left on the clock.
Look, all I'm gonna say is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ooh, that's not a good pick, though.
Yeah, that's kind of broke. That Potato Lord gets killed by Euphoria. A little bit of overextending there from the Potato Lord, trying to get Netburn killed early. And Netburn still not dead. It's been amazing support play coming out from Pineapple Bro, and out with the shatter from Terracted. Gets 3 on the ground, able to eliminate Euphoria, but the rest aren't falling. Guess what? Lotus have already won the fight again because of all the stagger picks coming in. All of a sudden, this hold for Mark III has failed horribly. They tried to go aggressive. They tried to keep themselves together, but Tom Joe unable to keep that mech, and Mark III lose the first point. You were talking about good first point holds, and unfortunately, it's not going to be prevalent here on Rialto.
You know, as soon as they lost the Potato Lord, I was sweating on the inside. I felt it coming up. They should have backed up there. That was it. But hey, you know what? As the fact that they made me eat my own words, they are still doing an amazing defense here on Rialto. And I mean, they're up one right now. They could just drop on them if they wanted to at any time.
They could. They have the Blizzard. They have the window. As long as this Blizzard isn't eaten by John Pond, then they have a chance to win this fight. Blizzard comes out. It isn't eaten. Here comes the attack visor from Dead Scorpion, however, in the backline. Potato Lord, however, gets the kill off on the Pineapple Bro, and Appa dies to make Rice. No supports left on the side of Lotus. And as expected, they're just going to retreat. They don't want to have to fight this any longer. They don't want to stagger out any more picks. The only last kill is going to be Dead Scorpion on this soldier, but Mark III are going to be happy with the result, and Lotus are going to back out and wait for the next fight.
Yeah, and now that Nepnern has switched over to the Diva, that means the Potato Lord has a free engage beat because you don't have to worry about anything. I mean, you might want to use it against the Bongo. That's about the only other, ult I can think of that you would want to use it against. But I mean, hey, you can get aggressive here.
The beat comes out from the Potato Lord. Cupcake, however, died in the aftermath, and the Dragon Strike comes out from Zatnu, able to get 2, 1 with the Dragon Strike, 1 with the Storm Arrows onto the Potato Lord. The Deadeye from McRice, able to get the mech of Nabern, but in the end, Lotus is going to win this fight with less ults in the bank. They only used the Drum and the Dragon Strike, I believe, so a good fight investment here for Lotus, and they're going to continue pushing this cart. 1 minute on the clock to try and clap point B.
Yeah. Now, you do have Mark III. They're about to have Shatter Bomb, which is not really easy to do when you're going up against. They just got to worry about the window coming out, interaction and shields getting down. But hey, they're going to have this recontest, and that's a big wall.
Whoa, a huge wall onto Appa. The Shatter comes out, and it got 1 on the ground, which was Dead Scorpion. Terracted dies because that Shatter was not as big as he imagined. And you can see it's back and forth on both sides, but looks like Mark III is going to get the advantage. Tom's able to get the kill onto Zatnu, and all that's left is the Diva and the Soldier of Dead Scorpion. But guess what? Dead Scorpion has a tactical visor, releasing it onto Lucio and the Mei of the enemy team. Terracted able to get the kill onto him, but not before Scorpion gets 2. The bomb comes out from Netburn, trying to get any sort of last-minute kills, and he gets the remake into a safe territory. But guess what? He's in the middle of enemy territory, trying to get out. He barely is able to, thanks to that shield from Euphoria. And Lotus is trying to push into this in last fight territory. Here comes the bomb from Tom, unable to get anything except that immortality throw from Pineapple Bro. But it's really just back and forth. Lotus trying to win this as this is their last fight territory. 5 seconds left on the clock. The Deadeye comes out from McRice, and Tom Joe able to kill Zatnu. Pineapple Bro dies in the aftermath, and Lotus losing bodies left and right. Euphoria tries to use the drum and is unable to get any value with it. Just like that, Mark III are going to be able to hold here right outside of point B. Netburn, once again, getting staggered on the Baby Diva, but that's the end of the fight. Mark III get the defense here. 91.86 meters here for Lotus.
Yeah, like I said, Mark III does do a really good job on defense on this map. It's the attack was where I'm going to be worried about here watching them. But if they play like they did there, they were able to rotate their ults. They had a few mistakes, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to be the initiator, and that's where Lotus was winning fights, is when Lotus was able to initiate with their ults first and stuff like that. That's what happens. If you're on defense, look, there's 2 things you got to worry about. 1, what ults do they have? 2, how are you going to counter ults? Well, one way to do that is to start the engagement yourself and, kill them before they're able to pop the ults. Or 2, just to have those counter ults. So we saw, the beat drop come out. Unfortunately, just not enough with the Dragon plus Bongo. It's just so much damage there. Beat drop goes down. That's, just something you gotta live with, but you made the choice. But hey, it worked out for them in the end. They're able to hold them on the second point. And now all they have to do is play in a really amazing attack. And, well, we could be going to map 5, which, once again, I know there's an NPC in the chat that's going to be very happy because NPC always loves Gizmo suffering when it comes to these long nights.
Listen, I don't get these long nights often. The only match I've had, which has been relatively close, was Palm Beach Buckers vs. Koala Kings in the preseason. So this will be a welcome gift for me. Interesting to see John Pond on the Symmetra here. What's the plan here?
So let's see here. We're seeing the Symmetra. So what they might be doing, yep, they're going to be kind of, hiding behind. And like we saw on Nubani coming out from Lotus, they might try to TP on top of them because that's actually a really good way to kind of like stop this poke from happening. If you get on top of the poke, they can't really poke. And also, one thing they don't have to worry about, there's no Ana here to nade them, so not as bad.
Yep. Oh, the TP gets broken immediately, though. It was a failed TP attempt coming out from John Pon and the rest of Mark III. Lotus still sitting comfortably on this high ground with this Diva Orisa setup. Or no, not Diva Orisa. Double shield setup. My apologies. But you do see that Mark III, they want to take the fight to them. They want this brawl to be right in the faces. The charge comes out from Tarakton, unable to get any kills, and Zatnu is able to finish him off. 2 picks now for Zatnu as Mark III, this push has failed, especially with the Ant Matrix being used. Unfortunately, that's going to be a lost fight here for Mark III, and Lotus is going to sit comfortably here, right on top of the high ground that they've been positioned on this entire time.
Yeah, Mark III did the right call by rotating the way they did. Unfortunately, I think, that pin with the immortality just was not a great call coming out from Tarakton, but hey, you know what happens? They do have the shatter, they wasted the window, no biggie, right? But now they have to go into Lotus's window. They have to worry about probably Sigma Flux, and yep, here it comes.
Yep, the Flux comes out first. A Dragon Strike as well from Zatnu, and it's able to get the Potato Lord with that combo. Now there's only one support. Nep, and Zatnu's gotten 3 so far in this fight. Nepern gets the kill on the Tarakton, and the fight's already over. Mark III have lost this fight again, and that's another fight win for Lotus. 2 minutes and 30 seconds here on the clock, and Mark III, they only have 1 ult in the bank. They need to find some answers and quickly.
Yeah, but, if I was them, you're coming up on a beat drop. They just used the Flux, so only thing you really can beat right now is the Soldier Visor or maybe the window. And you're going to really want to, just rotate around and try to get that high ground up. You're going to try to run them over, and you're going to try to get a very fat shatter. But this time you really got to keep your finger off that shift button to track them, because if you shift again, you're just going to feed. It's going to be another loss. But you know what? They have their window coming up as well, so they can counter the window with the window.
Also a smart move coming here from John Pon, switching over to the Mei. The Symmetra obviously wasn't working. Here comes the Attack Visor from Dead Scorpion, unable to get a lot of value because the wall has split the side of Lotus in half. Despite that, Euphoria's gotten Rice, and that's a massive shatter coming out from Tarakton, able to get 4 on the ground. The follow-up is there from Mark III, and they're going to be winning their first fight since the beginning of the match. And 1 minute and 30 seconds to try and get it to the end of the point. Nepern is there to stall it out, but it's going to be all for naught. He's just going to be sacrificing his body to Poseidon as he falls into the river.
But hey, it was not a bad sacrifice because now they're up on another Flux again. And that was a lot of ults that came out from Mark III. They had no ults for this recontest that's about to happen. You've got Bongo, you've got Flux, you've got Rally coming up. It's not going to be a fun second fight, and there's only a minute left, which means 2 fights at best.
Crab Cake gets killed off immediately from Dead Scorpion's Helix Rocket. That is very bad here for Mark III. They only have the Lucio heals now, which means it could be devastating if any of these ults are able to get a lot of value. Here comes the Flux from Nepern, and McRice gets picked up by Euphoria. It's a massive Flux getting on the Tarakton here, and Tom just falls straight into the river. Just wanted to make sure they get out quickly, and that's going to be a lost fight for Mark III again. The good news, they didn't use any ultimates, and the enemy team used 2.
Yes, and now they have that Blizzard for when the test on point happens. They have Shatter again. They have Bomb coming up. The only thing they really have to worry about is a Dragon. And the Dragon's not as effective except for anything but zoning here on this point, because most likely you're going to be in the open, which means you're going to be able to say that, ooh, that's not a good decision by Death Scorpion right there.
He tried to overextend, and McRice spotted it and got him with the Flash Fan. The Deadeye comes out for McRice, unable to get anything, and the charge comes out for Tarakton, able to get Pineapple Bro. It's a 3-man shatter coming out for the enemy team, and Zatnu gets 2 with the Dragon Strike. It's still winnable here for Mark III. Tarakton dies, however, to the hands of Appa on the Brigida, but Mark III, now only 3 people left for them, and all 3 of them on the point. Here comes the Deadeye from Dead Scorpion, a massive wall from John Pon to make sure it doesn't get any value. John Pon right there, trying to fight with the rest of the team, as Tom Joe and the Diva using the bomb right now. Over the edge, trying to get any picks he can, and he's able to get Pineapple Bro again. Pineapple Bro's died twice in these past 2 fights, and just like that, Mark III trying to push it forward. Zatnu in the backline, however, trying to do as much damage on the enemy team as possible, but it might not be enough. The window invested here from Cupcake. Mark III wants this point. They're going to be able to get it. Barely by the skin of their teeth. They're able to get the first point. They're able to continue pushing. Zatnu able to get the lag kill on the John Pon, but it doesn't matter. 2 minutes and 19 seconds here for Mark III to try and get to the end of this map and bring us to a map 5.
Okay, well, they've already done the hard part for them, which was get that first point on offense. Now here's uncharted territory for Mark III, because it's not very often I've seen them, have to fight this second point here. So 2 minutes? That's a decent amount of time. They have the beat drop this time to negate the flux, but then there's the window you got to worry about, and someone's got to push this card in while they're, trying to hold this high ground.
Windows used early, so is the beat from the Potato Lord as a response. John Pond drops very low, but is able to survive there, and you can see Tom Joe gets his mech lost early to dead Scorpion, and Terractin now does not have that off-tank help. He's all alone on the high ground, barely surviving by the skin of his teeth, and the healers are there. Now here comes the Flux coming out from Neprin as a response. The lamp is not there from Kebcake, but everyone still survives on the side of Mark III, and they're getting the pickoff. Scorpion and Alpha are dead, and now Mark III, they're still winning this fight. The window invested from Kebcake, and Mark III, they're on the final engage here, onto the final point. That golden box of victory right in their sight. Euphoria uses the drum. Mark III trying to push into this point, but they already lost 2 people. Terractin and the Potato Lord are dead. Now this is where Mark III retreat. They only have a minute left on the clock, and any other stagger picks are going to be consequential here. They're going to try to win this fight in one fight territory.
Yes, they have Blizzard, they have Deadeye coming up, and they have Shatter as well. But the problem is that they're going to have to go through a small spot, which means now Zatnu's Dragon Strike is going to be massive here. And yes, here he comes.
This Dragon Strike comes out thanks to that Sonic Arrow. It gets a lot of people into it, and 3 kills from Zatnu. John Pond uses the Blizzard in the backline trying to get any sort of value, but the rest of the team isn't there. Just like that, Mark III pushes over, and they lost an ult. Only 30 seconds here for Mark III to try to push this. This could be disastrous here, because look at the other side. They have the rally. They have the tac visor. What does Mark III do here?
Well, first of all, they're going to have to kite across this while this tac visor is, which, pop into high noon to kind of push back the Soldier Smart.
Oh, no.
They do lose the Potato Lord, but they have Bomb coming up. They have Shatter. They can win this, but they don't really have the time to go through the way they're going. They should have gone straight to the cart. It's going to be close. Tom Joe's going to be able to get this touch, but I don't know. It's not looking good.
Then dies in the aftermath. Tom Joe able to get the touch here on the Divas. The rest of Lotus is on the high ground, but Mick Rice and Kebcake die. This is looking dire here for Mark III. They're trying to come up with any sort of answers they can. The bomb here from Tom Joe has to be massive, and it is. He's able to get Neprin, but it's not enough to be able to win the fight. John Pond dies to Euphoria. The Shatter comes out for Terractin, unable to get anything, and guess what? The rest of his team is dead. All that's left is one baby diva of Tom Joe, but it's not enough to be able to hold it. And Lotus barely being able to defend this point. McBrice and Kebcake are being able to run back into this point, but are unable to get any sort of value unless it's a miracle going to be happening here. But it looks like it's all for naught. Lotus sitting comfortably on this point. All they need is to finish off these last stranglers. McBrice able to get the kill on the Zatnu, however. John Pond dies to Neprin. It's really back and forth here, and it could be anyone's game here. The Flux comes out from Neprin. This might be the finisher, and it's not. Tom Joe able to touch, but everyone down around him is dying. Mark III, unfortunately, unable to get it done. Lotus will blossom and get their first win at stage number 2.
Oh, you hate to see it from Mark III right there. They put up such a great fight, but like we were saying, we didn't know why they picked this particular map. But you know what? At the end of the day, they really put up a really great fight here. And like I said before, they did pick up, Terractin just this week, so not really too much synergy has been built with that main tank. But I definitely see the potential for Mark III in him. So that this shows that, hey, you know what? This is why they did so well in stage 1. Both these teams did really well in stage 1. It might just say Lotus might have had a little bit of harder one since they had, that one loss where Mark III didn't. But you know what? That's a great way to end the night and end stage 2 and the regular half of season 7. So I'm thrilled with it.
Really was an exciting way to end off the season here, and especially the regular season. And especially the week, really. It was an amazing match. It was the first match I casted that wasn't a sweep since the preseason, so I'm proud of that. It's rare for me to get any sort of match that's not a sweep, so was a good match overall. But at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, and there can also only be one player of the match. Gizmo, out of every player we saw today, we saw a lot of amazing plays coming out from both teams, but who do you think is your player of the match?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to have to give it to Terractin. Amazing on the Winston, amazing on the Reinhardt. We saw some very fat shatters. We saw an amazing double boot kill with the Primal. And not to mention the counter Primal off the mat, too. I mean, like, not many tanks are able to do that. It was really great for Pills. And like I said before, he just picked up for Mark III, and I can already, like I said, already see the good potential that he'll bring to the team coming into the playoffs. if it wasn't for him, and Rice, the DPS line for Mark III, I'd have to say just all the tanks in general, but I'm going to specifically give it to Teracton just for that.
Yeah, I think Teracton did an amazing job, but I'm actually going to give my player of the match to the person who got that play of the game on the final map, Zatnu. Really flexible DPS player, being able to excel on several heroes. Hanzo, Soldier, Genji at some points. We don't see a lot of Genji here in Discord tier, so seeing Genji was a refreshing treat, and it was great to see Zatnu live up to the potential on that hero. So great job from Zatnu on Lotus, and great job from Lotus. Mark III, they do go 0-3 in Stage 2, but they have the potential to do better when it comes to playoffs. So we'll see if they're able to make that rebound in the playoffs. Now, if you're staying around for Overwatch Tranquility, don't go anywhere, because after this match, we are going to be bringing you this week's edition of the Beat Drop with Captain Jack. So it ought to be an amazing show. Get some live interviews, see what happened throughout this week of Tranquility, and it's really going to be an amazing show. And Gizmo, you can attest for me, this is an amazing show.
Oh, trust me. I'm gonna tell you right now. I love that we change it up to these individual interviews instead of doing the team individual interviews, because now we get to see your faces. It makes it a lot easier for us to ask questions because we're not waiting for someone to go down the line. And I love talking with you guys in the community. I love everyone in the community. This Tranquility, just an amazing community. So getting to hear your life experience and like who you are outside of the game is just awesome. So I'm really glad that Cav and all the people who are in the admins were able to really work this out for us this season. And Jack's just done an amazing job, like always, running the show. Wish I wasn't as busy as I have been, but you know what? It's fine. He does, like I said, he's done an amazing job, especially since he, moved and stuff. So kudos to him. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a few during the playoffs, I think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the Beat Drop tonight. I'm Gizmo Charmander. This has been my partner Bowsy, and this was Discord Tier. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.